Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this week I'm with the amazing Lettin Loose, and yeah, I'm just going to explain to you guys who they are, what they do. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. I just want to say a massive thank you for watching to begin with. And also, I am basically doing a series on women's health and nursing as well. And that's what this video basically comprises of. So please do tune in, subscribe, and find out what Lettin Loose is all about. So, thank you guys so much for coming and literally agreeing to come on the channel. I know that, sometimes it's hard. Everyone has a busy schedule, so I'm really appreciative of both of you coming. Do you just want to explain to the people who are watching who you guys are, what you guys are about?
Yeah, so my name, I think it's perfect to say my name is Temi.
I'm Sheena.
And yeah, I guess we're the founders of Lettin Loose. Do you want to kind of
So Lettin Loose is a brand about giving awareness and education of the reproduction health. So and we also have other things coming up, but at this moment we're about the awareness and education of what is about periods and so on, and also about breaking barriers to food and all sorts.
Yeah, and I think also just to add, we're just like a space where we want to be very much create a space where it's culturally inclusive and representative, especially a lot of the time when we're talking about women's health, a lot of the time people who look like us are not included in the conversation, and that shows in data, in dismissal, in the way the system is being represented of us. So we want to create that space where we'll kind of have that space and just let loose on our, problems that we have with our wombs and all those good stuff in terms of reproductive health, and essentially just kind of let loose and just feel free to share on our, reproductive health issues.
Yeah, and I love that. Everyone knows I'm a gynae nurse, and this is literally exactly why I went into gynaecology. Because I love hearing about that, and I completely agree. I feel like we do need to actually create areas where women who look like us are able to talk more about our issues. A lot of the time, it's issues that we fight with as individuals on our own, and if you do speak out about it, there's a lot of people, more than we think, who actually go through the same situation, same problems, who don't speak about it that much.
Yeah.
So one of the first questions I want to ask is, who came up with the name of Lettin Loose and what is behind it?
So I came up with the name Lettin Loose, but collectively both agreed that this is the name for the brand, and I think the inspo behind it is essentially we're just a brand that we really want to focus on giving a space for people to really feel that space that they can just openly discuss, on topics such as menstrual health, even in terms of sexual health, even conversations that a lot of us, maybe because of our families or the backgrounds we've grown up in or schools, we've not had that space to kind of be open and truly let loose on conversations that we want to talk about in terms of why does my period not come regularly, or do you get those what goes on down there and then you don't feel comfortable talking? This is the space, especially for people who look like me, where you come from households you're not. Sometimes you might not have that mum who's open, or she might be that Christian or Muslim mum who's might be I don't want to talk to you about that. Don't talk about I'm not getting pregnant. I'm not talking. So that's what it's about. It's just an opportunity for us to kind of truly let loose and be bold and be open about it and truly just be comfortable with the conversation surrounding it.
I love that. I really like the meaning behind it. That's really cool. First off, sorry, this is not even on my question, but are you guys sisters, best friends?
We are friends from way back from secondary school.
Oh, wow.
So
that's something you guys are real friends.
Yes.
I don't know my
Yeah, she's the only one. Yeah, so we're from way back.
Oh, that's nice. So that's still really good.
It's funny.
It's 20 odds. A long time.
That's really nice. So how did Lettin Loose come into effect?
So, Lettin Loose it all started, I would say, from way back from last year. We actually, it's from our experience, for number one, from personal experience through our period, having bad periods and so on. So we just wanted a change, but also mainly started from Mexico. Like, me and Temi was on a holiday. It was actually her birthday, like, her big 30th. And we sat down and we were talking about business and what we want, because prior to this, we actually had a makeup brand, and we just wanted to do something different and something that is more passionate about us. So when we came back, we didn't actually start nothing until like October, and really physically starting until this year in January. And then like, it all came from literally our experience and so on. And we actually won an award through like a big idea thing through a university, and became like a champion. And that's what kind of is what, again, even pushed us more, that this is needed, you know, and people relate to our awareness, what we're trying to do and so on. And yeah, this is how it comes, and now we're just trying to develop it even more and more and more.
I honestly love this. You guys are Okay, my next question is, I think you kind of covered it, but I was going to say, do you have any form of medical profession? But you said that it's more about your personal experience.
Yeah, I would say we don't have any medical profession, but we do have a lot of research that we've done through our personal experience. So I would say everything is based on our personal life experience.
And to be honest with you, as a medical profession, a lot of the time, from hearing patients' personal experience, that's how we're able to really understand how conditions are, how symptoms are. Because we can learn about things, but having an understanding of the symptoms on each, like, different individuals, especially like people from minorities like us, it's actually more interesting, because sometimes symptoms may not be as apparent in different.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree.
Yeah. So, can you explain to the people who don't know what they can expect to find on your page when they type in Lettin Loose?
I think when it comes to our page, it's going to be a diverse range of things. One, starting off with education. So with us, we're, like I said, we're very much big on like diversity and inclusion. That's the forefront and foundation of our brand. Like, first of all, so when we're educating in a perspective which is very much culturally inclusive. So we want to be that space where, if you're a Latino a woman or girl, whatever pronoun you advise yourself as, then you can see yourself in that space. If you're somebody from an indigenous background, African, Caribbean, Black community, whatever that may be, this is that space where you're like, wow, in terms of women's health, I feel seen, I feel catered to in terms of that. And then things like, obviously, like I said, education, practical tips, great medical expertise, and then also, just updates in terms of what we're doing to help support you in having positive reproductive health. So things like products that we want to bring out that, will support you in that journey, and just other people's personal experiences as well.
Love that, honestly. If it's okay, if you guys don't mind sharing, like, you spoke about briefly about, like, it was from your own personal experiences. If you don't mind, just briefly, like, explain to us what it was. I've seen it from your channel, I mean, through your page, but for people who haven't, just explain, like, what you guys went through, symptoms were, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, again, this is all from my experiences. And one of the experiences last year, for example, I was like back to back to back in hospitals getting morphine just because of bad period cramps, literally vomiting on the floor, all of that. And I just didn't know what was going on with my body. And there was just one time where it was like worse than what it was. And it was last year in August where I collapsed at work, and I had to quickly put me into A&E and give me morphine once again. And at one point, the lady was saying to me, "Oh, I don't know what's going on. Maybe your ovaries has burst, but I need to check it out and all of this stuff. But we're going to send you to the women department to get a scan and so on." Anyways, they checked me out, and it was just like some small fibroids where they said that it's not big enough to remove and so on. And then 2 weeks later, I had a smear test, and when I got my results, it basically said that I had the HPV, and then it created abnormal cells. So that now, it didn't clear away because they said my immune system is too low, all of this stuff. And December, I had to do the treatment. So I've done the treatment and everything's been fine since. But my thing is, I didn't really have I don't know if those were the symptoms or what, but I didn't understand what was going on in my body, because now I hardly get any period cramps. I'm okay. Thank God, I haven't been hospital once this year. So I don't know if it's a thing where it was to do with the abnormal cells or whatnot. I didn't have the awareness of symptoms. I didn't know what was going on during that time. But when I look now to then, I can see the difference, because I'm getting more happier periods, should I say. I actually enjoy my periods now, when before I would have been on the floor and calling 999. So, exactly. but before so when I found out my diagnosis, I didn't know what to do. I was calling family, friends, to see if they've been through this, and it was a common thing, but it was hidden, because then I talked to my auntie and they say, yeah, man, I have that. I said, well, I didn't know about that. You know what I mean? But it seems like there's also this whole taboo when it comes to this, and this is the issue why we're not aware, and a lot of people are not going to these places to get themselves checked out. Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. You want to share yours?
Yeah, I think I'll keep it brief. So there was, God, anyways, this day I was in the nail shop, and I say it all the time on Insta when I'm sharing my story, but I was in the nail shop, I was sitting down, getting my nails done as per, and then I just felt this lack of I didn't want to eat. Automatically I was put off eating, and then I just started to feel weak. And then Nelson was looking at me, he was like, "Are you okay? Like, do you want stickers?" I was like, "No, I don't want anything." He's like, "Did you go out last night?" I was like, "No, I didn't. I'm just tired." And as he was talking, my eye was just going shutting. What's going on? At that moment, I thought there's something wrong with me. So instantly, I remember the last thing I did is I pressed, because she was the last person I talked to, I pressed her. And then I don't even know what I said to you, but I just collapsed anyways. And then I woke up, and when I tell you, my whole body was shaking. It was like I was having I thought I was having a heart attack, because I could taste this metallic taste in my mouth. And it was just, I don't know, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. But previously, before that, I actually used to have really bad periods where I would be vomiting, I would be feeling sick, I used to struggle to go down the stairs, to just simple things. And it was just okay, this is not normal. Even though most of my friends were yeah, that's how my period is. So I thought it was just a mistake, because we're all saying, oh yeah, me too, I struggle to go down the stairs. I'm thinking, why are we all struggling to go? But it becomes the thing where this is not normal. This is not normal. And so, anyways, I got rushed to GE. I ended up going with my dad. And when I was there, I was waiting for... Anyways, that's another story. I was waiting there for ages. And I don't want to say it's race-free, but I just realised I was the only black girl waiting there up until 11 when I was seen. It was only until a security guard came and he was like, first we're here. I was like, yeah, we are. And then he got me in, and then there was this doctor, and he was just like, oh, well, we checked your blood. You must be fine. Maybe you're pregnant. Who told you I'm sexually active? Anyways, I got home the next day, and then the next day, when I tell you that period pain, you know when you're feeling period, it's in your head, the pain is so bad. I haven't had any diagnosis, but I think it's just because I've just done things to kind of help have a better period, and that's what I've noticed, just doing things to help me have a better period, things that I'm doing has really helped. But that's when I realized, oh man, this is not normal. And then I just realized that if I'm just having this problem, imagine those who are having excessive issues, like her, for example, like fibroids, and finding out you have fibroids, and then this is how you're being spoken to in the hospital. You don't really have the awareness and all these things. And obviously, my dad is not with me. What does he care about? He's just like, yeah, I'm an African man. I don't really care what you're talking about. Like, I just want to go home. So yeah, that was it really.
Sorry that you guys have to go through that. It doesn't sound nice at all. I was gonna ask, like, with your friends, like, have they seen a GP before? Have they done a transvaginal ultrasound scan before, or was it something that hadn't happened at all? It's just when you were in the emergency like situation, that's when you guys went
to my friends. A lot of my friends, when I spoke to some friends, they'd be like, "Yeah, I have an appointment, like a smear test, for example, but I don't want to go yet," you know, and I feel like a lot of them had like anxiety of going because, again, the lack of awareness. And I feel like if they understood the process and what it is and what it does prevent, they'll actually be going instead of keeping it longer. And I feel like once I was able to like express that to friends and stuff, and I told them about my situation, more of them was going. So I feel like having a voice and more brands like us will be helpful for the community.
Yeah, and that's literally exactly why I asked that, because this is exactly why it's so important. I feel like we do end up having fear of these things because sometimes maybe somebody's own personal experience. I think there's a time where a lot of women didn't like going for smear tests at all because of people expressing that it was extremely painful, etc. But as you said, it's really important for to go just to understand what's even going on.
Exactly.
So my next question is, what do you think of influencers and celebrities talking about women's health? I've seen like celebrities, I don't know if you guys know of Miss Arthur. She was speaking about the fact that she had multiple miscarriages, PCOS, and I think it was endometriosis as well, if I'm correct. If not, sorry guys. But yeah, I'll add the video to this clip. I'll add a clip to this video. Essentially, I feel like it's really good for people who are in the public eye, especially like from London, just speaking about their health. I know she didn't go in depth with things, but regardless, it's just about putting it out there. I think I saw somebody else who, what's her name? I think it's Mariam Musa. Yeah. And she was talking about the fact she had PCOS.
It was quite funny actually. I just was never on my period, and my mum thought I was having sex, and I would tell her I'm not having sex, I'm not having sex. So she made me take a pregnancy. Do you know how many times I take a pregnancy? Like, my mum was not. She didn't understand because obviously all my sisters
will be getting.
And obviously I'm the middle child. So when my younger sisters are on their period, and my older sisters have been on their period, and I haven't, my mum's just thinking, and obviously my mum knows my period. What are you up to? So I was just like, no. And then we went to the doctors, and that's how we found out. Because my mum really was convinced she was like, this girl, she must be pregnant.
That's
your mum's on job. Imagine you was.
I know, imagine.
Do you mind me asking how old you were?
Yeah, I was, it was between 16 to 18. So that was just like 3 years of like.
You were innocent.
Yeah.
Did you find out like this as soon as you went into the doctors, or was it like something you had to keep going back in for?
No, we found out because they scanned. Oh, I forgot that. Like they proper do like a ultrasound on your ovaries to see, and that's how they realised that I don't really release enough eggs and stuff like that. Sometimes I won't have a period for like months. Wow.
So like, does it impact your day to day? Yeah.
Not at all. Like, it's not as bad. I think my biggest scare is the pregnancy thing, but I think I'll be fine.
No, you will be. From my research,
I'll be fine.
I've done my research. You'll be fine.
But that was the only thing that was my main concern because he did say it's a bit harder. But I would say, at one point I did think like, oh my God, will I get pregnant? Because I was risking it. There was a point where I was risking it.
You were risking for a chocolate biscuit.
Wow. I'm happy about it, but hold on. I still had to check here and there. But yeah, so that's what I was like, maybe I won't get pregnant. Like I'm actually really doing the most right now. Nothing's happening. But yeah, it's all right. Like the period bit and the fertility bit was my main concern, and obviously the hairs and stuff like that. But those can be fixed. And I think it depends on the girl some people have it worse, some people don't, and I've been all right with mine.
And a lot of the time people think PCOS is like related to weight, and she's quite a thin lady, so just to see that as well just help with also like misconceptions of PCOS, and both of them are now pregnant as well, so I feel like that's why I want to speak about them, because I feel like it's nice for celebrities to speak about their experiences and for us to see that just because you do have this condition, it doesn't mean that you are infertile. I know that fertility rates sometimes can be reduced. I'm not saying it's not the case, because it is the case, and it depends on how bad and what stages you are at. But it's not nothing. I think nothing's impossible, honestly.
I agree.
From when you guys were like diagnosed, from when everything happened with you, do you think that there's been a change in the promotion of women's health? I know it's not been too long.
No, I don't think so. Up to this day, I will go to the doctors, and there's still no awareness. I mean, telling them, give them updates, and I'm like, oh, I don't have no period, and no symptoms, like bad symptoms. And they're like, oh, okay, there's no awareness or no, because I'm asking them questions about it, and there's no education at all. I'm doing my own research. And again, when I'm talking to other people, this could be even work colleagues or whatnot, they have no clue of certain things, and it's so surprising. And these are people in my generation, in their 30s as well, and it's sad. So I feel like from last year to now, no. For me, I just been doing what I can do, and number one is trying to not be stressed about life stuff, and that's been helping me a lot,
I think it's sad that this is the case. I do think there's still so much work that needs to go into women's health. A lot of, I feel like with women's health is a lack of investment, which is one of the massive problems. Because I feel like with promotion, we need a bit of investment for that to happen. I know that we are people who have platforms that do speak about things, but I feel like a lot more needs to be done in terms of the government doing more as well. A women's health summit that they've updated. I think it was at the beginning of the year they updated just to put out what can be done to promote women's health. And I think it's every 5 years they update.
So that update on the whole white paper and stuff.
Which is good, but I feel like more can be involved.
And I feel like even as you said, there needs to be more when we're talking about funding, not just we've allocated this amount of little fund for your little promotional campaign so we can vote for you when it's parliamentary day. But when we're talking to this day, the fact that we still have to fight for things and I still have to tell people 1 in 4 black women are dying at childbirth. We still have to have these conversations. That there is changes in terms there's more talking about it. There's compared to probably my mom's kind of generation, there's more conversation and more movement.
But there is also research as well. There are new drugs.
But I just want to see. I'm tired of doing research and seeing lack of data when it comes to, and I have to say, because I have to shout my own people, but when I see lack of data in terms of women of colour, black women, and then we're always on the severe end of these reproductive health issues, we're always the ones that's dying at this or getting misdiagnosed, then I still feel like there's so much work to be done. Women's health shows up differently for all of us, and it's so complex, as you said, because it doesn't just show up as weight gain. It shows up as weight loss, and there needs to be more research. So
Agreed. I don't know if it was last night or 2 nights ago, I think I was just up, and then I think it was midnight, and I saw I can't remember what she does. Her name is Jacqueline Jossa. I can't remember what she does. I don't know if it was EastEnders. I think she was Lauren in EastEnders.
Oh, okay.
But she had an episode where she was herself. But I was thinking, why is it at midnight? If I wasn't up, I don't even know why I was up. I wouldn't have seen it. So I feel like if things are going to be broadcasted, maybe at a time where everyone's around, because it's like all that hard work, but it's not really being shown. Yeah. Especially to the women who actually want to see
things like this. Yeah.
So I was going to say, do you think that women dismiss their symptoms?
Yes, I feel like, it comes in two ways. I feel like for one is a natural thing of fear, because they may have symptoms and so on but don't know what to do about it. Again, their lack of awareness, because they don't know about their health and what is going on, and then they have that fear, that anxiety to go to the GP to find out what's really going on. But that symptom could just be something very minor, what can develop into something big. But if you go now, it could have, prevent and stuff. So I feel like, a lot of women does dismiss their symptoms.
I know I like to be the girl who talks about diabetes, but some of us from generations, like, where our parents even have, like, some of our parents have, like, things like fibroids, high blood pressure, and you tell them, why are you eating? And they're like, no, it's just normal. Those things. That's just how our family is. And that naturally, you two internalize that. You two start becoming that auntie that says, it's just a normal. And you start becoming this thing like, no, it's just a little, it's nothing, it's nothing. But these times, you don't know that, like you said, it could be a minor thing. So I think everything plays in why we dismiss our symptoms. Like, I don't want to wholly blame, because like I said, I have worked within the NHS recruiting nurse. I know how the NHS funding is. I know that they're so bootstrapped. I don't want to wholly blame. There's so many different aspects to it.
Yeah.
Why women are out here and they're dismissing these little symptoms, fear of what the doctor might say, internalized discussions that they're having at home where it's like, no, that's nothing, darling. That's what we've always had that in our family.
Yeah.
And there's just so many things that play into it.
Yeah. So, I agree. I think that's really good. So my next question is about diet and exercise. So do you guys believe that diet and exercise contributes to or can help with symptoms of like gynaecological problems?
I think in terms of diet and exercise, obviously, in conversations that I have on Instagram, I do push for people to incorporate a better holistic lifestyle as part of improving their positive reproductive, as part of having positive reproductive health. Now, I'm not saying that because I know, like myself, I was a gym, like active 5 days a week. You couldn't tell me nothing. Going Pilates, doing it all.
That's even applause to you because that is tiring.
Pilates in itself is not, and then 5 days a week. Like I would be something that I would consider myself, but I was still having that bad period pain. So it's just a combination of everything. And I think like the people say, it was that every little helps, that everything works together in order to kind of create a better lifestyle. So you can't just expect diet and exercise to be the only thing. What about in terms of we live in the UK after COVID, costs are up, people are stressing, people are tired, that also can affect down there as well. So many different things. And then I'm looking at girls who are on the severe end, they have endometriosis, they have all these things as well. So I think it's everything, but I do push, like, having those things can have impact on having better reproductive health, because I swear by things like chamomile tea, raspberry tea, including herbs, gingers, and all those things. I swear by those things. They do have an impact, but I think it's everything holistically in one.
Yeah, I agree as well, like exactly what Temi said. I feel like when I compare myself from last year to now, I have changed a lot. But last year I was drinking like a lot of green tea, ginger, you name it, taking my sea moss and stuff. I was still getting the severe pain. But I realised the less that I've stressed now, is the less pain I get. Because before, I would say I wouldn't put myself first. I've got other responsibilities and I would put myself kind of last. But now I've learned just to put myself first before I do anything. My stress is on balance at the moment, you know, and I realise it's to do with your stress first, and then obviously eating good food and whatnot plays a massive part as well.
I think you guys said it perfectly, because it is like a chain of events, like hormone levels, stress, food, like you can't be eating rubbish. I can't even speak because I actually do eat a lot of like junk food, but I know I have to stop. It does actually negatively affects you as well. So a change of diet is actually really important. Like you guys were talking about with the teas, implementing stuff like that is really important. And it also can help with your pain as well. A lot of the time when you look at the foods you eat around the period time as well, it can actually increase your pain. For example, for me, I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but every time my periods come in, I'm craving sweets. It doesn't matter where I am, I need sweets now. Before it was Fanta, and now it's like sweets. And then literally the next day on my period, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. But it's like, no, we have to learn how to kind of control that sweet tooth as well. And incorporate it for maybe something healthy. I know it's easier said than done because I tried, that's what I can say. But it is important for our body. And we need to look after our bodies because we just have to. Because we are the ones dealing with all these problems.
Exactly. And all of those emotions go to your gut, then go down there, and it affects everything. So it's just keeping balance.
Gut health is so important. A lot of the times, what I found doing research, because my dissertation when I was in university was all about fibroids. It was all about the growth of fibroids. It was all about diet and exercise and its effects on fibroids. When I did my research, I did find that the types of food that we do eat actually can increase the fibroid itself. And different, like implementing a different, like more like not vegetarian, but more like greens, eating more fruit as well, can actually decrease the fibroid size. Things like red meats do actually increase the fibroids if you're eating them on a regular basis. So I feel like stuff like that, I'm not sure if a lot of women know about it. Just like if you go and have a myomectomy, which is a removal of a fibroid, do you know that you also need to be very mindful of what you eat? Because that fibroid can grow back. We don't actually have evidence-based research as to why fibroids develop. We speak about hormone levels and stuff like that and genetics, but there's no fundamental point as to why women have fibroids that occur. So imagine you've got the fibroid removed and you're doing the same thing. What's going to change? Do you know what I mean?
And even you could just well, I don't want you to experiment with yourself, but you can even test. Like I know it's like, let's say 2 weeks, and that's why I even did a video about that. I said 2 weeks for my period because I used to have like, you start to feel changes, like you know where your period is coming, like if you monitor yourself properly, like 2 weeks, why am I always so agitated? Why is my skin looking different? Why am I breaking out? Why am I this, that? Here's feeling, my chest is feeling heavier, like my breasts or whatever. But when I started saying, okay, I'm craving sweets, I'm doing this, I would notice that when I'm eating those sweets, that sugar, I don't know what it is, that pain that I will have, because I want to go, but the time when I've now replaced it with like, okay, let me go and have chamomile tea or something. Let me go and have this sweet alternative, darker chocolate or fruits or something. The pain is so much better. Like when I tell you I've seen it reduce from day, it's only when I choose to just like, so I don't even care, I'm eating sweets today. That's when I've seen like, you're good. That is going to show you that it's the main character of the life. So
Oh god. But that's a good response. My next question is, what would you like to see in the future of women's health?
So I would like to see like way more awareness, like people having an understanding of what reproduction health is, because I feel like once we know what it is, having that education, people will know how to deal with their bodies and anything what occurs. Like I feel like just having that in our community especially, because that will help the younger generation, will help a lot for future, where that's when the community and the world itself will change as women, where we will have way more understanding about our bodies and what is this and what we should do and everything, until waiting until we're older in our 20s and 30s and so on. So I feel like, just having that overall understanding and that education, that's when I will see the change. But for now, I don't see it. But you need to have more people like yourself, like us as well, different brands coming together and going into schools, doing that workshops, educating, and also just breaking the taboos of talking about it, and not just talking to girls, but talking to boys too.
I was even going to add that the boys thing as well, because I feel like in order for us to collectively, because I feel like sometimes when we talk about reproductive health, we always focus sometimes on women as well.
Yeah.
But we forget that some men as well, they need that as well, because these people are also, not only do they not know that their bodily function can affect my bodily function as well. And then also there's so many different aspects of reproductive health that they need to learn in order for them to be maybe maybe to be able to understand women and how we move in the workplace, in the corporate world, and just essentially we just need a place where, one, I always say diversity and inclusion. Until I see that more representation of us and the data is representative of us, where I want to see less of 1 in 5 black women. I'm tired of the 2 in 3 black women getting diagnosed later than anybody else. I'm tired of that. I want to see more of that, more education around that, making it more culturally inclusive, and like I said, and like you said, including the boys in the conversation, because they have reproductive health issues. Men also get erectile dysfunction, all these other things as well. They have that, but I don't think they're talking about it because it's like that's a woman.
Exactly.
Nothing doesn't affect them, but it does. It all is part.
Love those responses. I feel like, I don't know why, but when I think back to, it was ages ago, but when I was back in school, like as in like GCSE, I don't remember learning too much about periods, about women's health at all. I don't know, maybe my memory is not that great, but I just don't remember it at all. I remember my teacher saying, girls don't have sex, it's very bad, wait till marriage. And that was it. That was like apparently the subject spoken about. And then with my mum, she'll be like, they spoke to you about that in school, right? I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay, that's fine. Like, that's it. Like, do you know what I mean? People just assume, or maybe they feel uncomfortable speaking about it. But I feel like with women's health, even with sexual health, it's really not spoken about too tough. And I feel like schools, it's really important for girls to know about it from young.
I even asked you today, Temi. I was like, did we even speak about it like that in school? Like, I know we did personal development, but I'm not sure if I wasn't listening or what. But
we definitely didn't speak about it. I think in schools, like, they're just like, especially with especially when it comes to public schools, for them already, they're like, oh, you don't want them, because in public schools, it's always like someone's getting pregnant, teenage pregnancy. So for them, their focus is more like, we just don't want them to get pregnant in school. We've got other things to do here. And, it's just like that uncomfortable conversation. It's always like just vague, like, you're going to have a period, you need a pad, and that's it. And that's the rest of the conversation. Even in the toilets, we didn't even have pads like that anyways. You have to go to the nurse's office to go and get a pad.
And as you said, like, from home, like, I remember my mum just prepared, like, a toiletry bag and said, you're going to have a period one day. But I didn't really understand. So when it happened, I was like, okay, it's happened.
That's literally the same with me. I remember I was in school. No, I wasn't in school. I was out with my mom and I was in like McDonald's and I went to the toilet and I was like, what is this? And then I said to my mom, I don't know, like I'm just bleeding. And then she's like, oh, you started your period. I was like, oh. Okay.
When I started mine, to be honest, it was a fun day at church. My mom took after as well. Like, she told me, she just gave me, like, I was like, oh, I started my period. And I was very excited because I remember everybody else kind of started. I feel like I was kind of one of the last ones. So I was so excited. And I came to her, she was like, here's it, pad. I'm sure. So make sure to come to church. Since I'm actually bleeding. I'm telling you, and that was the end of the conversation. There was no, what is the hygiene? What is the product you need to be using to maintain yourself? It's almost like she depends what I thought the school would teach you that. But the school didn't teach us that.
I feel like with schools, like they have syllabuses that they have to cover, and as long as they've touched it a bit, that's it. I don't know, as I said, I can't speak for now as I'm old now, like I don't know what's being taught at the moment, but this is just from all of our memories as when we were in school, which is concerning because we are like the adults, do you know what I mean? Like,
and it's concerning, especially if like you don't even know the basic things to even wash down there whilst you're on your period, like basic hygiene to maintain yourself whilst you're on your period. Some of us don't know. We're just buying cookies and cream, scented wash, using it down there, and then you're wondering why you have thrush. Now some pads contain some chemicals that have, or tampons contain chemicals that's led to it. So more understanding. I wonder if even the schools even knew anything about it themselves. Maybe that's why they don't cover it. Actually, I do think maybe just the lack of funding.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like, unfortunately, it's sad to say that a lot of these problems are also due to funding.
Yeah.
I feel like this is exactly why, like, I don't know, it's the government, but at the same time, what can you really, I don't know. Like, everyone just vote for the right people.
Yeah. Honestly.
This is why it's so important. But this is not a politics show, so we're going to end this wasn't on the list of questions, but I'd like to ask, like, what do you guys think about the fact, I don't know if it's, I can't remember exactly where it was, but I think there was a country which allowed like free pads, free tampons, etc. I know that there's some places like where I've gone to work before starting nursing, and there were corporate areas and they just give free pads, free tampons in the toilets. However, I know that there's some like toilets that you go to and they have like some machine to buy your pad and stuff like that. So what do you guys think about and there's also a girl on TikTok, she was having a campaign about periods and to like enforce there to be a law where women should have days off when their periods are really bad, and also for free pads to be accessible everywhere. So what do you guys think about that?
I think, you know what, I think in terms of, I do believe in, I've seen some countries move, like I think even Spain is doing like menstrual leave now. I think, I don't quote me, but I did do a post on some countries that are doing it. And I do think, I would love to see that. Now, I can see where, for a corporate perspective, where problems may like where somebody's now lying now, because you have to kind of measure, okay, where do you now know if this is, you're just taking the piss? Like, are you actually on menstrual leave, or are you just using that now? But,
is it that bad that you can't come
you can't come to work, because there's some people that, okay, you have a cramp, but it's not period pain. There's a difference between cramp and pain. You actually can work. But I do love the idea of menstrual leave, because it's actually making the corporate workspace a bit more inclusive and diversified, whereas before the corporate space wasn't made for women. So by incorporating that, you can see how it's like, okay, we do have we're creating a workspace where women can be feel seen, feel heard, and can, you know, just feel appreciated, because corporate space is not made for women. If you go in there, I've worked in corporate, it is not made for women. When you're sick, it's like, you're sick, you can't come to this meeting. Oh, okay, good luck for you. Because when you come back, I don't know if you're going to be able to come back. So things like that. And then I think also, sorry, what was the question in regards to pads and...
Yeah, like if you're happy, like if you guys think it's a good idea for it to be accessible and free and like everywhere.
Yeah, I think we do need to start. It's nice, especially for the younger generation, especially because now we're seeing, even after COVID, people cannot even afford the basic essential needs. Like, we literally partnered with a charity called Fresh for Kids Fix Fighting for Price, and people was coming for like what we see as like, my mum was buying me school uniform, socks, shoes, like they were so appreciative. So you can imagine if someone is struggling to buy shoes, to buy this, then what else are they struggling for? You can imagine a pad is like, do you know what, we're going to have to use tissue. I'm compromising that. So I do understand where certain people need to. It's just only where I'm thinking from a perspective of the people who are making these stuff, how are they going to support them? How is the government? Well, that's where the government needs to come in and create funding for that, for the people who are making that, in order for, obviously, because income, people need to live. I can't be making this for free in terms of the workers, because they need their life too. They're making it, they need their income. So it's just something the government needs to really think about, how they can support those people who are creating these products in order to make it free for the people as well. So,
and we're gonna have like DJ there. We're gonna have like more journaling. It's just gonna be such a fun event. Like, it's gonna be so good. So most importantly, November 10% of the R&B of the money will go towards a charity that we're working with in Jamaica called Free Little Cupboard, and that is all about helping those young girls out there who need the essential stuff that they need when it comes to their women time. So it's going to be amazing.
So nice. Do you guys think maybe like from what you do, you guys can branch out more to different places.
100%.
Yes. So
because,
our goal is like, obviously we want to venture out, like not just in the UK, like, and especially when we're thinking of a lot of us on the couch are all from diverse countries or so, and even back home, how can we support those communities? Because, you know, like we said, we're starting off with Jamaica, we want to start off, go to Africa, do what we need to do, and pour back into these communities. Because if we think about it in the West world, for us to buy pads, okay, it's an expense for some of us, but imagine back home where, like, how much that is and how grateful they are for just that. Like, even a reusable pad could just do so much, do so much justice for somebody out there. So things like that, and then also incorporating more events to teach women across the globe, and whether it's through our like fitness event like we're doing now, or just panels and bringing people such as yourself, you know, just to kind of educate. That's what we're working on towards next year. So just, you know, check the space and just keep on
Yes.
I love that. If you guys want to shout out like your social media platforms to everyone, I'll put it in the description as well, but just like let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram, Lettin Loose _. Obviously, we wish to have Lettin Loose, but someone's got it. And then on TikTok, Lettin Loose, on LinkedIn, Lettin Loose. And and then, you know, just follow us then, see what we're doing, and yeah, we're excited.
Perfect. And thank you guys for also telling us about your event. I feel like it's really nice what you guys are doing. Is there anything else you guys want to share with us? Any secret things? And I don't know, just anything you guys want to tell us before we wrap it up?
I think mainly just look out for the R&B pole fitness event, but also look out, like we said, we are a brand, so we will be coming out with products to support you. But I don't want to share too much.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come into 2025 with us and see what we've got planning for you. But it's going to be good. We'll share some secrets with you personally. But yeah, really.
Love it. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. It's been honestly amazing. And I love hearing about what you guys do. And yeah, I'm really happy. This video was sick. Thank you guys for watching as well back home. And if you did like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Follow Lettin Loose on their social media platforms. And I'll see you guys in another video in not next week, but the week after. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.